What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and as always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Hoops, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. But it is our favorite time of this podcast. We get to talk to an actual real life wrestler. So don't let me talk too much.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get right on into it. Tonight's guest is another member of the bustling Georgia independent wrestling scene, a student of AEW wrestler AR Fox. He's wrestled for WWE 4, Action Wrestling, Platinum Championship Wrestling, and the Guardians Legacy. Not only is he an accomplished wrestler, but he is also an accomplished actor. Please welcome the father of Flawless, Edward Draven. Edward, how are you, man? Good to see you.
I'm great, guys. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Thank
It's
you very
good to
much
have
for
another father on the podcast. I'm getting tired of just Mr. Cincinnati on here.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's leave me out of this here tonight, all right? We have company.
I
Don't
can't-
act all bold just because.
I'm not.
See what I
This
deal
is
with?
me. Get over it.
Nah, it's fine.
I don't want
It's
no
fine.
smoke.
But no, it's all good. It's all love here. But let's get right on into it, man. Here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast, we look at wrestlers as superheroes, supervillains. They all have origin stories. So, Edward, just tell us some of your earliest memories of pro wrestling.
Whoa. My father and I actually, since I was born, it was just wrestling on my dad's side. With my cousins, that was all we did, all I knew since birth. So it was like something that's always been, you know how you learn your colors? Like learning
Yeah.
wrestling, it's like always been there. And I was always like, wow. But I'm not gonna lie. The reason
Okay.
what captivated me the most was Tori Wilson. She's something
Sorry.
about
Yeah.
her coming out and being like, well, she doesn't have to be the best wrestler, but the way she got the crowd to react, I was like, I want that to be me. But I was not blessed enough to be Tori Wilson, unfortunately. So I am overdrinking.
Yes, most of us weren't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
So Tori Wilson was one of your favorites growing up. Who else were kind of your early influences, and then how are you kind of doing that in the ring, like taking what they did and putting it on yourself?
Okay, I love this because I literally send stuff to my acting friends. Of my favorites? My favorites like The Undertaker, Edge, Randy Orton, Melina, AJ Lee, CM Punk. I'm more of a character
Mhm.
type of theatrical type of guy. So I always use stuff they do like pacing and the facial expressions, taking my time and like maybe sticking my hand out to somebody in the crowd. I'm like, ugh, you're like so bored. Like something like that. I love to interact with the crowd because the energy is just unmatched.
Love that. Love that. So let's fast forward a little bit. You've made the decision that you want to be a wrestler, want to go to wrestling school. Why AR Fox is your trainer?
This is actually a hilarious story. So I always knew I was going to be a wrestler, like from childhood up. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to wrestling school. Like I went to Catholic school. So the nuns did
Mhm.
not like that. Like,
Of course not.
I got in trouble once. I remember for the Undertaker, like, and the nuns were like, "Calm down, here, buddy." But it was actually my 19th birthday present. My mom was like, "You really don't ask for much. What is something you want for your birthday?" I was like, "My pro wrestling school tuition," and she got it for me. I looked
That's
up
awesome.
WWE 4. I went up there for a show, and then like the next week, I was in the ring. And I
Wow.
got to meet AR Fox when I walked in. He was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Shit, you're AR Fox." Hi, did you know you're AR Fox? But yeah,
How did that initial meeting go?
there wasn't much words. I remember first meeting him. Like my mom had surprised me. She told me we were going to get like CMOS. We were going to get like an order of CMOS, and I'm like, CMOS? Like, why do I have to go with you? And she surprised me with going to a WWA 4 show, which is where I met one of my best friends who was on here, Zamir Zerio. For the first time. I
Okay.
seen him wrestle. I was like, but when we walked in, Fox was like, "Hey man, it's not really open to the public, but I'll let you stay." And I was like, I shook his hand. I was like, yeah. And my mom seen how much like I was so into it, and so that day she paid for like my tuition.
Wow, that's
Love
awesome.
that. Love that. That's certainly one of the more relaxed, I think, first time meeting AR Fox stories that we have gotten on this show. I think we've heard about him yelling at random strangers at a warehouse and just some stuff kind of popping off. I think that was Amir's interview. Yeah, so
You know
yeah,
what's
you're in
crazy?
wrestling
I've
school.
never seen that
Yeah.
guy. Like the 2.5 years I was there, I literally have not seen that man yell once. That's what's crazy. I've not
Wow.
seen him.
Okay.
I've not seen him yell. At least not.
Yeah.
That was a little
Interesting.
soft. He was like,
Yeah, patience has to be a virtue, I'm sure, when teaching and learning how to wrestle. I would
especially
imagine.
when training me, because oh my god, when I first started, it was. Shout out to Cavron Canyon too, because he literally pulled me aside and taught me how to roll in the other ring, how to do stuff better. I literally would still be learning how to roll 2 years later.
That's awesome.
I like it. So we've also mentioned at the top of the introduction that you were also an accomplished actor. So where did the love for acting come from, and what inspired you to get into that field?
Wrestling. I looked up on Wiki. Do you guys remember WikiHow back in the day?
Yeah.
And I was in like, I'd probably say 5th grade, 6th grade, and I'm looked up. I was like, how to be a WWE superstar. Like, I need to be in the WWE. I'm looking at places, train 10-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing everything at this point. And I go on WikiHow, and they're like, first, you have to do sports, and you have to know how to act. Take some acting classes. And I was like, acting classes. And I was like, I'm gonna be the next Miley Cyrus. Like I literally thought like Disney Channel was gonna. So I trained my butt.
Yeah.
Like school, I did theater. I was just to try it. I was a very shy kid. I didn't like speaking. I didn't like presenting, and I had really bad social anxiety. So
Mhm.
me going into theater and like becoming president of the drama club really helped me jump out of being shy. And then my 8th grade year, I started going to Premier Actors Network, trained by Dwayne Boyd in Atlanta, and that was just everything I needed. Like he would help me come up with characters and stuff. It's like when the time comes, but I was also doing like stuff that I didn't want to do, like soccer and football and basketball.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a couple months, and I was like, so I was.
I also tried it and had a similar reaction. I get it.
Yeah, like at my gym, there were no other teenagers. So it would just be like me being like 15, 16, and the rest of these older guys just kicking my ass. But I got my lick back. I didn't go out without fighting. So acting went from there. And then I remember during the pandemic, I moved to Conyers and I was looking up like representation. I just got my first agent and I seen something about Legacies, which is the Vampire Diaries spinoff show. I don't know how familiar you are with. And I was like, this would be cool to do. And I looked it up and it was actually 4 minutes from where I lived. So that kind of got me more comfortable in front of the camera and staying on set and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Nice. I did not do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I wrestled in high school, so
You're so
that's
lucky.
that's how I thought I was going to make it. It didn't happen. How has your wrestling experience kind of helped influence your acting style now?
I would say vice versa, actually.
Okay.
I would say that my acting experience helps my wrestling experience because I feel like a lot of people take themselves too serious. And I'm like, I love being the out of the box character, the different, the larger than life. And if I didn't do that, I would still be the same shy kid who couldn't talk in front of 3 people, let alone cut a promo and come out in like assless chaps. So that helped a lot. I'm very comfortable and quick witted due to improv. Like training for improv for years, I'm very quick on my feet. If something goes wrong or I need to get the crowd a different reaction than what they're giving me, I can always think fast. And it helps me with my character work too, because I feel like I'm always doing things. Sometimes when I do acting exercises, I'm like, what wouldn't I do? What would the wrestler Edward Draven do? And that's what's really helped a lot.
Okay. So how do you balance the physical demands of wrestling with the creative challenges or demands that come with acting as a character in the ring as well?
The grace of God. It's not. It's like wrestling. You gotta put your nose in it. You got to give it your all. So I've been putting acting kind of not on the back burner, but I'm giving wrestling my all because I'm like, I have to give this everything I got. And I was like, I've done the plays, I've done set work. I'm like, I've done that. And then I also feel like I'm putting wrestling before because I feel like wrestling was always my main passion. And I was just using acting as like a stepping stone to be a better wrestler.
Okay. I like it.
Are there any specific?
Yeah.
Don't.
That was my fault.
Don't cut me.
That was
off.
an accident.
How
It was an
dare you.
accident. It was an accident.
It's never an accident with you. It never is. See, you see what I got to deal with, Edward? It's just
see how he talks to me?
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
All right. Okay.
You guys need a group therapist? I'm licensed. I'm not, but
Honestly, that might be
That might be something we look into to do on the show.
as someone in a tag team, as someone who was in a tag team for a long time, I wish that was offered to me.
Are there any specific acting techniques or training that you find helpful while preparing for a match?
Facials.
Okay.
I've literally been backstage getting into character because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna fall over, I'm gonna trip over, and blah. I'm like, this is not what the people want to see. These people pay to see a star. If they wanted to see Joe from 7-Eleven, they would go see Joe from 7-Eleven. You have to be a star. So I just practice like my facials. I practice my hand movements. I've been backstage and people are like, are you good? Because I'm giving them like a face. I'm like, oh no, it's just me prepping. Because when I go through the curtain, I'm just a completely different person.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Now it's your turn.
I was letting the moment breathe. Christopher.
I just had to remind you.
Okay. So, also, as we mentioned at the top of the interview, you've competed for WWA 4, Action Wrestling, PCW. We've had a number of wrestlers from all three promotions on our show, and it's very clear that each one of these promotions has their own unique identity, heart, and soul. What would you say, just in your own personal opinion, makes each of those three promotions so special?
Oh my goodness. So for WWA 4, tremendous talent. You have guys like Grayson Pierce, Donovan Thomas. You have the guys that we have like Rico, Teriyaki, Mr. Danger.
Yeah.
Love those guys. They're so talented. But there's also a very exciting new crop of guys popping out that I'm excited for, like Jay Tyler and Keelan Cole. And I'm so excited for people to see what they can do because you can tell when it's an A4 kid. Like they have that little flavor. And I love that. I love that everybody at A4, well, MA, I feel like everybody can fit so well by themselves and into a group. I like that. I like that a lot. And I feel like for Action, it's just they're bringing top stars from all over and former guys who went to A4 who are in Action killing it, like Alex Kane and Damian Tangra, like stuff that inspires me, Tyler Stevens. So I love that. Just to see guys that have left the 4 to step it up to the next level, love seeing them kill it because it gives me motivation. Like that could be me one day.
Sure.
And Platinum Championship Wrestling, it's just a lot of history there. I love the history there. There's a lot of my favorite part of Platinum Championship Wrestling is character work. I am such a character work guy. Like I'll wrestle you all day, but if there's a chance and an opportunity to get ourselves over as characters before we even touch, I feel like that's so magical. And I feel like there's an amazing group of people there who do that. And like Platinum, I went there and I completely was like, I need help. I'm starting over. I was like, and they've helped me tighten some things up and become a better performer. And I've noticed a difference in my ability with them. So I love that so much. That's been an amazing experience to rediscover who Edward Draven is.
Awesome. Yeah, we've definitely seen the character work on full display with Nauticism and the Hoochie Daddy Lounge. So we definitely understand.
I just had to tag with him and his Cheetah Girls.
How'd that go?
Imagine you guys are Jillian Hall fans. Imagine having 5 Jillian Halls singing in your ear.
Okay. Yeah. Say
I
no
guess
more.
nerding. Oh, my Cash App notification just went off. learning from narcissism has been an amazing experience, and I love it so much. So great.
He will love that. He will love that.
Saved my career.
Yes. Not narcissism. We don't want any heat. We don't.
No,
We didn't
no.
say it. We didn't say it.
Yeah,
He's yelled at us, so it's fine.
we've gotten enough heat on our own show from it. You know.
I've been there a couple of times. Every time you see this, he's like, boy.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned a few names, and this is the point of the interview. Like, we like to have you mention a few more names that we need to look out for as wrestling fans. Maybe some up and comers that we need to just keep an eye on, or some dream opponents that you have. Just who should we kind of be looking out for?
So for dream opponents, I've only wrestled Rico Gonzalez when I was a year in, and I was very green, and I couldn't give him what I can give him now. So Rico, also AC Mac. I know you're retired, buddy. Come on, it's me. Come on. Like, let's do it. Also, Bussy would be like, they're my idols. I don't want to fight them because they would beat the shit out of me. But look, if y'all need a little Maxime Dupree, I would love. Effie's a little hardcore for me, so. But for some guys you should look out for, definitely Grayson Pierce. And congratulations to Grayson Pierce and Jay Tyler for capturing gold at WWA 4. I'm so excited to see what they do because I feel like there's something different that we haven't really seen. So I'm excited to see what both guys bring to the table. And who knows, you might see me. I'm just playing. But also guys like PRX, guys like A-Town, Don Cameron, Donovan Thomas, just the new crop of guys at the 4. There's a little feistiness to them. They have a little attitude. You're talking to me crazy. Like, I watched y'all take y'all first bump and you disrespect me, but I guess I'll let it slide. But I'm very excited for those guys. Those guys deserve the world.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we'll
keep our
add
eye
to the
out.
list.
Yeah.
Kelly, I'm sorry. Me.
Yes, of course, Edward.
Forget about those guys. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
me. Like me. Like, come on. They're all right. They're not flawless, but they'll get there. Like with a lot of more work, a lot of more practice sessions with AR Fox. Maybe they'll get like somewhere close to my level. I don't think so, but they might.
Yeah.
Man, you can tell you've done some classes with narcissism.
Yep.
I was like, look, every time I'm trained, it's just like, who can be louder? He always wins.
Yeah.
He always
I can
Facts,
see that.
yeah.
I can see that. Yes.
So you are the father of Flawless, but we might be putting that to the test with this next question. This might be the toughest question that you'll get this entire interview, and we need your help
Probably the
settling
entire
the debate
year.
here.
Oh, why did my heart just
So we this question is asked to every guest on our show. You're no different. Mr. WrestleMania. Is it Shawn Michaels or is it The Undertaker? You see it in his face already.
Yeah, no pressure.
I literally feel the entire of Twitter like just down my neck as you just said that. I love The Undertaker. He's my favorite male superstar. He's just so captivating and he's one in a million. But boy trying to get employed. So I'm just like I love Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is legendary. But if I had to pick, I'm sorry, you can't get better than The Streak. I'm so sorry. Like Undertaker is just iconic. And plus Michelle McCool, Flawless is just amazing.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Good answer.
The right answer. Great job. The right answer. So thank you. Thank you for that.
If there's logic, we don't. I won't argue it. And neither do
But
they. So
you're wrong.
If
So that's
I had to give somebody who really deserves the moniker of something WrestleMania, you know who I would give it to?
Who's that?
Kelly.
Okay.
Her and Maria Menounos versus Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres. That's a couple for you wrestling nerds. Go study real wrestling. Go watch Kelly, Eve Torres, Melina, Mickey James, Victoria.
Yep.
There you go. Real workers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Love it.
Where can everybody find you on socials, and then what upcoming events do you have?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Edward Draven. Same on Facebook, and I believe I have to see which my Twitter is. And I have a couple of interesting things lined up. You're gonna see me definitely pop out a lot more. wanted to take some time to train more because I was like, first impressions are everything, and I don't. Who wants to go somewhere looking not the best? And I debuted 3 months in, so I was like, I was always. So it felt good to take some time off and
Sure.
get to know my moveset better. And 2024 is just the year of flawless. Let me just say that there's a lot coming that you guys are gonna love in terms of acting and wrestling.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. We'll have to
Awesome.
keep an eye out.
Yeah, we Edward, we certainly cannot wait to see what you do next. And thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it, and we definitely hope to have you back on again soon.
Oh, I would love that. I would love to. I will hold you to that. Actually, you can't get rid of me.
Okay.
That.
No, hey,
Yeah.
say the word. Say the word. You are always welcome on our show, and we greatly appreciate your time. For the father of flawless Edward Draven, for the podcast dad Chris Hoops, I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. This has been a special episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.